So when you launch Game Salad for the very first time, you might feel a little bit overwhelmed. There's a lot of different buttons and attributes and choices here that we don't know what to do with yet. But Game Salad is actually built on a very simple analogy. And what I mean by that is Game Salad is built like a play. So, for instance, in a play, you have actors, and those actors act on the stage, and the director tells the actors what to do. Now you are actually the director of all the actors that will be acting on this stage. So what I want to quickly show you how to do is how we can quickly create actors, how we can add them to our stage, and how we can start giving them things called behaviors to get them to act the way that we want them to act. So right now I'm on the Actor tab, which you can see is right here, this small little face or mask that you see. We can click Create an Actor. And when I do that, you can see now we have Actor 1. I can double click on Actor 1 and name this actor anything I want. So my first actor is going to be called Bob. I'll go ahead and hit Enter. And I can click and drag and drop Bob down onto the stage. Now you can see instead of having this blank black stage, we now have it populated with our actor Bob. If I wanted to, I could click this little plus icon here, again underneath the Actor tab, and create a new actor. Again, I can double click on that actor, and I'll just name this one Jill. So we have Bob and Jill. I can click and drag and drop Jill onto the stage as well. So now I have a stage populated with two actors. If I click on Jill and go down to the attributes here and click on Actors, we can change a few things about these actors. We're not going to get into all of these right now. I just want to make sure that Bob and Jill look a little bit different. So I'll click on this Color tab, and I'll go ahead and make Jill green. And I can click on Bob up here in the Actor tab. And because I have the Actor tab here in the attribute selected, I now have Bob. I can click on that color box again, and we can make Bob a different color. So now I have two actors with two totally different colors. Again, not the most exciting game in the world, but we'll get there pretty quickly and learn how to add different behaviors and artwork. So what I want to show you right now is how we actually say action or preview our game or play our play. And that's with this green play button as we see up here. If I go ahead and click on that button, we're actually simulating an iPhone game right now. And you can see here in this screen, this is what our game looks like. Pretty basic stuff, but this is actually pretty advanced. To get here without any coding is already pretty amazing. So let's go ahead and click Back to Editor to end our simulation. Now we want to make this a little bit more exciting. Now remember earlier I said you are the director, which means you have to tell these actors what to do. Right now they're kind of like mechanical robots with no brains inside. What we want to do is make sure that we give them some brains. So let's start with Bob. I'm going to click on Bob, and I'm going to click on this toggle backstage button that we see next to the play button that I pressed. And what that does is open and close the window that you see down here. And when you have an actor selected, this window that we see down here is essentially the brains that Bob has. And we can see right now Bob doesn't have any brains, which is why when we hit this play button and preview our scene, Bob doesn't do anything. So let's go ahead and give Bob some brains or some behaviors. You notice two tabs over here up in the library we have this Behaviors tab. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to scroll down to a behavior, which is the first one we're going to learn, called Move. And I'm just going to drag and drop Move into Bob's head. Okay. So let's just see what happens now if I preview my iPhone game. Now you see that Bob moves. Let's go back to the editor and preview that again. You can see Bob moves left to right. So if we look at some of this brains that we gave Bob, you can see that there's a few things that we can change here. First, we have move in direction. And there's this little dial. If I click and drag on that dial, I can change the direction Bob moves in. So I'm going to change Bob and make him move kind of to the upper left. Also, we have the speed that Bob's moving in. So instead of 300, I'm just going to slow this down to something like 50. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to preview this again. And you can see Bob is slowly moving up. Again, I'll click back to editor. I'm going to click on my actor tab here because I want to switch over to Jill. So I clicked on Jill, and you can see because we have the backstage open. Again, if you don't have backstage open, you can click on this icon to open and close it. But you can see because I have Jill selected and backstage open, Jill doesn't have any brains, which is why she's still just sitting there. So again, we're going to go over to the Behaviors tab, and I'm going to find that Move behavior, click and drag and drop that into Jill's head. So now Jill also has the Move behavior. So again, I can grab this dial and change the direction that Jill's moving in. So I'll just make her go top right, and then I'll slow her down as well, maybe to 100. And if I wanted to, I could click on Jill here inside the stage and reposition her. And I'll take Bob, click on him, and drag and reposition him. And then I'm going to quickly preview my game. And you can see I have Bob and Jill moving in different directions here on my stage infinitely. Great, so back to editor. So let's go ahead and click back on the actor tab, click on Bob again, and what I'm going to do is actually click on this behavior that I put in Bob's head, and I'm going to delete it. So I'm just going to hit the delete key. You can also hit this minus key that you see right there. I'll go back to my behaviors, and I'll find another behavior, this one called rotate. So I'm going to drag and drop rotate into Bob's head. We're not going to change anything for right now, we'll just leave that there. So let's see what happens now. Jill still has the move behavior, but Bob deleted his move behavior, and now we have rotate. So now we can see Bob's just rotating and Jill is still moving. Back to the editor. Let's keep working on Bob. So I have my behaviors still open. I'm going to go back up to Move, and I'll drag that down into Bob's head as well. So now you can see I have two behaviors inside Bob's head. As the director of this play, I'm saying, Bob, I want you to move, and I want you to rotate. I'm going to tell Bob to move back to the top left. So I grab this little dial here and move that. And again, he's moving too fast, so I want to slow him down by typing in something like 50. Let's preview this now. So now we have Bob moving and rotating at the same time. Now what's interesting is Bob's not moving up to the top left. Why not? Well, that's because as he moves forward, he's also rotating. So he's kind of like driving around like a little car. Let's click back to editor and change something in Bob. So instead of Bob moving at a speed of 50, why don't you experiment with giving your actor a speed of something like 120, and let's see how that affects everything. So you can see now Bob's driving around in bigger circles. If I back up and slow down Bob's rotation, so instead of a speed of 90, we give him a speed of 40, you'll see that Bob starts to make these big, long driving circles. He actually jumps off of our stage and probably will come back in around somewhere around there. And we can see Bob's just driving around in circles right now. If I wanted to, I can click on each one of these and delete them. And if I wanted to delete an actor from the stage, all I need to do is click on that actor and hit the delete key. But I haven't lost that actor. I've just removed Bob and Jill from the stage here. And I can drag Bob and Jill back onto the stage anytime that I want. You'll actually notice that I can drag multiple copies of Bob and Jill onto the stage. So we can essentially have clones of these actors. Let's preview that and see how it looks. So you see we have a lot of different actors now executing the behaviors that we gave them as directors. So I'll hit back to editor. So what you should know how to do by now is create your own actors, how to change an attribute in that actor, like give it a new color, how to open up the actor's brains by clicking this backstage button here, and how to bring those actors here on the stage and then apply different behaviors. Now you'll notice in the behavior list there are lots and lots of different behaviors that we're going to start learning, but for right now I'd experiment with just those simple two behaviors that you've already learned: move and rotate. Go ahead and adjust the speed in your movement and the speed in your rotation and also the direction in your movement, and apply those to your actors, to as many actors as you want. Once you get the hang of that, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial.